All right, guys, we're live. Road to Memphis Monster Con. I wasn't even 100% sure we were going to have a show today, but I'm excited that we are. I know you've been incredibly busy, Jamie, getting ready for Memphis. And we got a really cool guest tonight. I was just telling Drew below us that one of my buddies does those hot sauce videos and puts it on everything. So maybe I'll have to get an order from Drew and send it to my buddy. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Drew from Horror Struck Hot Sauce. Welcome to the show, my friend. And let me get that applaud going. I can find it, I think.
I get an applause.
Here we go. Welcome, Drew.
I've never had one. That's awesome. Thank you, guys.
That's all Beatrice Bupley of Mama Kruger. Make sure everybody gets a round of applause. If you ever meet her in person, she'll give you a hand scratch with her Freddie glove, her son's glove.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. This is awesome.
Oh, no. We're happy to have you on. This has been a really fun journey doing these shows with Jamie. Real excited for Memphis Monster Con. I'm sure you are as well. I think this is going to be a really amazing and blow a lot of people's mind that it's actually a first-year show.
Yeah,
I think the excitement's there, and when you got a hot sauce vendor, you know you're doing the right things. That's my opinion.
Absolutely.
You're too kind. No, I'm cool. This is really cool that this is the first one. I didn't realize it was the first one until like maybe a few weeks ago, because you guys have had it down packed. So you guys have been planning it out for a while now. So I'm super stoked.
That guy.
This over here, up there.
Well, it looks like that on my screen. So if that's looking at, it's pointing at him. I got it mirrored, so it looks like it's pointing at him on this. And yeah, we'll just say so the Jamie, the Memphis Monster Gods up there,
cool,
putting it together. Yeah.
Next year, I'm definitely hiring an assistant because I've been doing all this by myself. Like talent.
So this looks like I'm pointing at him, right? Because it looks like I'm pointing away from him on my screen. Yeah. I switched it to mirror so I can actually feel like I'm pointing the wrong way instead of double checking, and now I'm pointing at him. But when I'm doing it on my end, I'm pointing away. So yeah.
So
gotta love it. But yeah, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about your journey to hot sauce.
It's kind of strange. This whole thing kind of started where I was in the craft beer industry. So I was a professional brewer for years and making beer in the Atlanta area. Worked for a few breweries, designing recipes, that kind of thing. And then when I just kind of got too old to do it, I needed to kind of find that sort of creative outlet for it somewhere else. So really what happened was I just started growing peppers in my backyard because I could. And then I didn't know what to do with all these peppers and started making hot sauce and passing bottles off to friends. And they were kind of like, passing like $10 or something. And it's kind of steamrolled into what we're doing right now. So it's been pretty cool, but it kind of like satiates that creativeness that I had with brewing and that passion that I had for brewing, and then having to get out of it and into a meaningless day job. You just kind of find other ways to find that groove that you've always had.
Well, you know what's funny? When I was in Colorado, since you mentioned brewery and brewing and stuff like that, they had the best thing in November. It was like a beer. It tasted like your average microbrew beer. It was solid, light beer, but it had that chili kick to it, which you didn't really taste it or anything, but it was a nice warm feeling when you'd go in and take that first few sips after, because I was staying with a friend in Colorado, and while she was at work, I'd walk down to the microbrew bar they had down there and just sit and taste test a few things. And that was always my go-to while I was there, because that warmth after walking, and especially Denver, anybody who's been, or Colorado Springs, how dry the air is if you're not used to it. I've never used lotion. I had to buy lotion while I was there because even my face chapped. I mean, anything that would get touched would become a big chapped mess. And that spicy beer was really nice. I don't know if you ever made that, but
actually, I've done some brewery collaborations and done some pepper beers. One in particular was with Monday Night Brewing down here in Atlanta. There's actually 2 in Tennessee, 2 locations up there. They have some satellite sister locations, Nashville and Knoxville. But yeah, we did a pepper IPA that turned out really good. It's super popular. So we might have some other ones in the work coming up here. So,
well, I mean, it's October.
Yeah,
you know, we're going into November. It gets awfully chilly. Awfully chilly.
I'm definitely trying to plan something out and maybe doing like a dark beer, something a little bit more spicier. You know, some kind of like dark stout with some cinnamon in it, some chocolate or something like that, some peppers. That'd be awesome.
Michael Toth, he does all the art. Well, I'm pretty bare back here because I hit the road for Scarefest tomorrow, which is going to be a lot of fun. Big shout out to the Xenomorph, the alien warrior himself from Aliens, Carl Toop. I'll be sitting.
Yeah.
Really excited about that. We got some cool stuff that Michael Toth has made. Skateboard decks, cutouts, space hugger cutouts, all black light. Some really sick stuff if you guys have watched the stream. And then also Lonnie McCollum and Jessica McCollum from Graven Images did like these enormous alien warrior xenomorphs. And we got 5 of them going with sign-in plates. So I had to shout that out. But
awesome.
Yeah, he's always wanted a Doomsday's Crypt hot sauce. I don't know if you do that kind of thing, but
hey, I'm always down to try something. I'm a big Aliens fan, so like I mean, I got the pulse rifle up there on the wall, and I got all sorts of stuff you can't see around.
Call
here.
it acid, that alien blood acid hot sauce.
Yeah, make something like cool. Neon green or something like that. That'd be tight.
You think it hurts going down? Wait till you feel it going out.
Comes out the other side.
But yeah, I was telling you before, my buddy Joe Collins, if he happens to be watching, I know Mike's buddies with him. He's helped me out at a few events in the past. He's been a busy guy, but he's one of those friends I've had since we were in middle school, and we still talk. And he's starting to do these videos and hot sauce challenges. So like I said, I'm going to have to get some hot sauce for Joe's hot sauce challenges there.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. He does some pretty cool ones. Kind of got me back into going, if Joe can do it, I'm going to at least put hot sauce in some of my food so I can relate to my friend from all those years. I owed it to him. Yeah.
So, with the sauce that I make, it's I like kind of prefer it to be like, extremely flavorful, not trying like sacrifice the flavor for the heat kind of thing. So while some of them do get like a little bit creepier, like nothing's like going to like ruin your day super, super spicy. Like I want it.
It's not going to one chip challenge you.
Oh, hell no.
Well, that's good. That's my level, especially getting closer to 50. The hotter it is. I like that little kick though.
My days are over. No, I'm 41 now, so I've hit my max and hit my peak. So I'm not trying to dare myself to do anything.
Yeah, those Daredevil days. I get you. As much as you loved them and enjoyed them.
Oh yeah,
no mas.
No. As a kid of the 90s and the early 2000s, I wanted to be, in Jackass, and so I think a lot of people can relate to that. And my body doesn't feel too good about it either. So,
oh man, I feel bad for those guys. I can't believe Steve. I mean, I'm happy for the guy Steve-O. I mean, he's still out there killing it.
Yeah.
I've seen Bam at a few conventions. Hopefully, he keeps up the good work. But the fact that they're even alive after the stunts they did,
alive one way or the other.
Yeah,
I bought some sauce for me at an event one time or at a con, which is kind of cool.
Steve-O's still doing it, and he's sober, which is even crazier. He's just as nutty, I guess. I mean, considering his age, and he's still doing that stuff for the fans.
More power.
Definitely not for his body.
No, absolutely not.
Oh man, the Jackass days. I was after that. I was a 70s, 80s kid. And I watched Jackass, though. It was still in my 20s, so I watched it a lot. I mean, like, some of it I enjoyed. Some of it was like, man, that's just nasty. It's just nasty. I was already getting that old man syndrome in the mid-20s. Like, yeah, it's just gross.
Yeah, I mean, just skating behind the malls and all that kind of stuff. Those are the types of videos that you grew up with, the old CKY videos and stuff like that. So you just wanted to
started off with those bootleg skateboarding videos, and I actually knew more about the dirt bike bootleg skateboard, not skateboard, the bootleg VHS tapes you used to get back then. It was the same
Oh,
time
yeah.
all the skateboarding ones were going on. And they were cool. I had buddies who rode dirt bikes semi-professional, professionally, and it'd be cool because I didn't ride. I was, couldn't afford to get hurt. I had a kid to pay for and minimum wage to earn.
Yeah.
so
It's
so
crazy. But it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
Tony Hawk every single day. Tony Hawk video game. Like my brother was 8 years older than me, so like while I was at school, he would beat my record, and then like he'd go to work, and I'd get off from school, and I'd beat his record. We just back and forth, back and forth.
Oh yeah. Tony Hawk is a jam.
That was a great game. That was. I actually got. I haven't played it because I don't know how I'd be. I mean, it seems like the older I get, the worse I get at video games. No matter how much I enjoy them, I've enjoyed like the slower paced games, one player games, because I'll get on those multiplayer ones now and just get my ass kicked. It's like as soon as I take 3 steps, one of these kids is just destroying me, wrecking me. I can't compete with them.
There's definitely like that sort of period of time to where like, I played, NES as a kid, and I could school some, Kid Icarus or Metroid or Mario Brothers. Now I go back and I play an NES game and I'm just trash at it. But I'm also trash at the new games. So
it's trash all over. Trust me, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. I got about 8 years on you. You said you're like 40, 41. I'm turning 49 in in April. And I'm getting progressively worse and worse at games, and I kind of enjoy them too. I'm trying to play the Alien game. I'm a bunch of years late on that one, the old Alien game. That's freaking me out. And I'm all right at it, but yeah, I'm really bad at games. Like if somebody watched me play, you watch these kids now or something, they can't be stopped. I'm used to 2 buttons in the cross, the directional button. And then when they added 4 and 6 and 8 and trigger buttons and all these other things, and then you see, what is it, Fortnite, where they're just building houses as they're shooting you. It's like I want
to tell these little kids, it's like, hey, we're gonna play Tecmo Bowl, and you can't have the Raiders.
No Bo Jackson for you.
Yeah.
Well, it frustrates me. Even my son, he's like 28 now, and his birthday's actually coming up soon. So happy birthday to you, Devontae. But I can't stand playing games with him now either way. I mean, I'd kick his ass as a younger kid. Now this kid's actually solid at it, and I'm at retirement age for games. They need the old man's league. Okay, we got. Not 8-bit, but we're going to do something a little 3-dimensional for you on the screen, but we're going to make it easy, but we're going to make you feel real nice when you hit something or you beat something. A big round of applause. Hecklers.
So with the Memphis Monster Con, like, so this being the first year, like where did this like manifest from? I mean, it's got to be hard to do this, right?
Especially I'm pretty much doing it by myself. I mean, I've got some partners, but they have other things going on. But I mean, I've always, of course, I've always been a huge horror fan. I own 2 comic book stores, 901 Comics here in Memphis. For about 6 or 7 years, I was actually on the road with Stan Lee, helping out with his autograph signings, selling merchandise. I've done conventions all across the country, Canada, Australia, Dubai. They let me bring my wife with me to Japan. That's where I proposed to her. But I just took all my knowledge from that. Memphis has never had a horror convention, but we have a really good Comic-Con. We have a good like anime convention, but we've never had a horror convention. So we feel like that's a good need for the city, and just rolled with it.
That's what I always tell Jamie is like, or anybody that comes on, it's like, yeah, it's his first year in the show, but if somebody knows what they're doing, it's somebody who's been there and all these doing different things for cons before you even really promoting one, whether it's vending or helping out or assisting and owning your own shop. I mean, you see what the fans understand. You see what needs to be done, or something that, say, a con it was really cool. This con did this didn't work, this worked, but you've observed and put together something really cool. I mean, you got a solid guest list, you have solid vendors coming in. The excitement's there for a first year con, like Drew was saying. If it wasn't even said it was a first year con, most people would think it was a well polished, you know, on maybe its 10th year of doing this, not its first year going in. It's
Oh,
impressive what you're doing, especially with all these cons. To stand out the way you're doing it is it's great, man. I think we're, you know, I got Scarefest this weekend, and then my focus is on Memphis, and we got a lot of cool stuff planned for that one too. So yeah, it's coming quick, dude. It's
Yeah.
coming quick.
I want to make it affordable for everybody. Like even like booth rent, I want to try to keep that down low. You know, I push for the free parking at the venue. Try to keep ticket prices low. Keep running like different deals and stuff just to get as many people as we can there. I've even talked to a bunch of people that are like, yeah, I've never been to a convention. I don't know about that. I'm like, like here, I'm gonna give you a really good discount on some tickets. Just show up. You got free parking. Just show up for an hour. You have nothing to lose. Just go check it out.
What did you do? 20% for the 2,000 likes or followers that you got on Memphis? So yeah, you're always running something cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And then we did what did we do? We did like a $10 Sunday ticket like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, just trying to make it as affordable as we can for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a list now. It's awesome. Like, I'm a huge Felissa Rose fan. So
who isn't?
I know, right?
I just assume every horror fan is, unless I hear something, and I have never heard it. I mean, it'd almost be a statement to say I just can't stand Felissa Rose because everybody loves that woman. I mean, she is a lot of fun. Dave Sheridan's a lot of fun. He embraces the Officer Doofy character.
Yeah.
But people ask me, they're like, well, how's she going to do the final scene photo op? And I was like, buy the photo op and see.
Yeah, you're going to have to check it out.
It might be the first time I actually pay for a selfie with a celebrity. I'm almost like, I've seen her a few times at some of these conventions, and I'm a little intimidated to say hi to her. So maybe this will be a year.
She's probably the most embracing celebrity you could ever meet. Like before I met her, I'd hear from people, oh yeah, she's like the nicest person. It's like, all right, cool. You meet a lot of nice people. How nice can she really be? No, she's super cool, super nice, super energetic. She's always a lot of fun. You're definitely not going to go to her table and be like, man, that was kind of boring. She embraces her fans. She'll sit there and have a conversation, and that's why people love her. That's why the fans do still like clamor in her lines and embrace Sleepaway Camp. Still, almost 40 years later?
Yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, she looks like a sweetheart. So
she's great. She's awesome.
This will be the year. This will be a year to meet her.
Yeah. You'll definitely, I'm sure. And what Jamie's doing, as you can tell, he's trying to, make it as affordable for people and cost affordable so families can get together and do something cool. I think a lot of that is because you are a family man, and you do understand as a family man, being able to do something as fun as a convention and taking your kids to go meet some celebrities, go see some cool products, go, just do something fun with the family that's not like going to Disney World, but still gives you that vibe of memories that, a Disney World can. I've seen so many memories made at the conventions. That's why I embrace them. A lot of memories for me have been made at conventions.
Yeah, I think that's something that's kind of that I enjoy as well about the experience itself is like, even though I'm technically there to do a job, it's just having this community around you that can embrace you, regardless of who you are and what have you. But like you said, these families that you can bring these children and you've got 5-year-olds that are, clamoring to take pictures with Art the Clown, which is, if if you've seen the movie, it's wild and completely not age appropriate. But here we are. We can do that. It's because there's some parents out there that can recognize that that horror isn't anything that's supposed to be I guess taboo or banned for that matter. Like it's just as long as you teach your children right, that this movie is fake, then I think that's pretty cool.
I think even with the kids, it's not even so much they've watched it; it's more they've seen it. I mean, not the movie itself, but the image art, the clown. If their father or mother's a horror fan,
Yeah.
them wearing it, yeah. And the TV version's pretty good. You see the opening for Terrifier 2, and then it goes to closing credits because the rest of it they can't even edit to make it fit for TV.
Well, and it reached
But-
number movie in the country this week too.
What's that?
It reached number one movie in the country this week.
I'm not surprised. I mean, a Joker probably would have beaten it if it wasn't, from what I've heard, not good.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing Terrifier 3 and hopefully can see it in. Maybe I'll go if I get a chance tomorrow night. I might just go if I can get there, check in, or even halfway point, just go to a movie theater, watch some Terrifier 3. Because it does look like it's a good movie. I mean, I've been hearing great reviews that if you're a Terrifier fan, you're gonna enjoy it. And a lot of the people are great that are involved in it. Steve Barton, we've talked about him a lot. He's doing some really cool things. Jonas Davis, who was supposed to make it to Memphis, and we had him on the road to Memphis. Great guy. I've met Lauren Rivera. She sat next to me at Crypticon, Minnesota, and couldn't have been any nicer or sweeter. A real family girl. She talks about her husband and her kid, and really down to earth. So it was a lot of fun hanging out with her. And I've met the Levy brothers, who are co-producers. I've met David Howard Thornton and Damien Leone briefly. But I mean, they're all great people. They're all really, really nice people. So it's great seeing them have this success with this franchise, because there's a lot of different franchises growing from it. Stream is out there on digital as well right now. I don't know if you've heard about that, but David Howard Thornton's in it, Felissa Rose is in it, Daniel Harris, and it just had its digital release. So another shout out to some great people who went on with it. But yeah, Terrifier, I'm not surprised. I mean, what else is out? Joker 2 and I don't know.
I have no idea.
I have no interest in seeing a musical, and that's what I heard it is. Some people love musicals, so maybe it's for some people. But I'll just wait till it comes on digital, and then I won't watch it for about 5 years, and maybe it'll come on TV, and I'll check it out. But
yeah,
no interest in Joker 2. The first one was good. Taxi.
I dug the first one. Yeah, like you said, no interest to see the second one. But I mean, I think it's something to be said about Art the Clown and Terrifier becoming this sort of pop culture icon, and I think it's pretty cool actually. Yeah. I mean, comparatively to a pop culture icon like Joker, it's there's something to be said about that.
Well, and fans will spread the word too. So I've been hearing good things, and luckily I've been able to avoid spoilers for Terrifier. But then again, I've watched the first 2 films. It's really hard to spoil a Terrifier movie unless you're talking about a kill. But I haven't been spoiled on any of the kills. Joker 2, I got kind of spoiled with that, but I didn't care. It was kind of like, all right, why is this so bad? And why don't I want to take, I don't want to go and spend the time to go see it. But yeah, but Terrifier's, I mean, they're going to crush it. I guess Smile 2 just came out. I loved Smile. I didn't realize Smile 2 came out today. I knew it was coming out. That might beat it in the ratings or in the for the #1 film. But I'll be real impressed if Terrifier can hold that #1 spot. That'd be impressive, because Stream's a big franchise, or Smile's a big, big budget film compared to, say, Terrifier and the budget they work with.
And it seems like right now we're kind of in a resurgence or a renaissance, if you will, of not big studio horror movies, that are becoming super popular.
Yep.
Scream.
I love it.
And all this, all this stuff is just.
But that's when horror was really great.
Good quality stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, that's when horror was great. I mean, with the indie community, they don't have to pull punches, and the fact that Terrifier 2 was in the theaters and then got extended, as brutal as that was. I haven't seen a brutal movie in the theater, an American theater, for a long time like that, or ever. Even horror, I don't think I've ever seen something so brutal in the theater. I mean, that had to be the #1 brutal movie I'd seen that was in a theater. I mean,
it's shocking. It really is. It threw me for a loop. And I mean, as you guys, I'm sure you see some of the most messed up stuff, between Martyrs, or August Underground, and like all these different like shocking ultra violent movies, and swear this one takes the cake for me.
Well, the fact that it transitions so well into not only the indie community and the horror community, but as it translates over to a lot of audiences, is like, where it was like, maybe even if you're not a super fan, you've heard of Michael Myers, you've heard of Freddy Krueger, you heard of Jason Voorhees. So for him to have that kind of name, everybody's going to recognize it now. So going to the theaters, there's going to be enough of an audience, especially at the holiday season of Halloween and stuff. There hasn't been that horror craze like you were saying, Jamie, but a lot of these smaller films are really bringing an extra horror vibe compared to like, some bigger budget things trying to release something, but it doesn't have the heart of the passion that the franchise needs.
I think that's what it boils down to is when you have such a low budget or a lower budget, and you feel so close to it, like say, with Terrifier it's you're so passionate about the final product. Whereas with something that's a higher budget, is you're ruled by these producers and the studios and everything like that, cracking down on you and stealing maybe the joy out of why you actually went in there to make this movie in the first place. And
it takes a story to become something else once they start getting their grubby hands all over it.
Studios, it's what
it becomes now.
Other stuff, it's what we want.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
the Terrifier team is horror fans that made movies, and they happen to get really good at it. Damien Leone's an amazing SFX guy and makeup artist. For him to create Art the Clown in the way, in All Hallows Eve, I don't remember the guy who played him in two different Art the Clowns, but David Howard Thornton really captured the essence of what Art the Clown became in Terrifier and Terrifier 2. And I'm excited to see Terrifier 3. So we'll see if that happens tomorrow. But I heard it's pretty brutal. If they can beat the one scene, that bed scene from Terrifier 2. Cool.
I mean, that's the thing. I respect the Terrifier movies so much, and that I find a lot to enjoy in them. Art the Clown, just absolutely. I mean, David Howard Thornton, amazing. Like his Art the Clown is the funniest thing without any words. And I love the pale girl. I think she's amazing in that movie. She's hilarious. Even the Clown Cafe scenes, love them so much. And you just want to know more and more and more about the story, even though I'm basically clueless. But damn, are those movies not like the most cruel movies ever? And that bed scene.
It is. The first one is brutal. I mean, it's just next level. The sawing the person in half.
Yeah.
And then the Exterminator 2, that's actually Mike Levy, Fuzz on the Lens, who did the Stream movie. They've been working on some great stuff as well. Yeah, I mean, that scene when he took off his head, there was some brutal moments in the first one, incredibly brutal moments in the second one. Yeah, they've taken kills to the next level of realism in those movies, and disturbing, but you can't take your eyes off it either. It's
I think that's what I think that's where I can find this middle ground with it, is as disturbing as they are, and point in case for the bedroom scene, is it's almost like watching like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yes, and it's also got a lot of art to it. You know what I mean? It's not, even though it's just over the top gore, there is like, I don't know, there's just something really artistic with the whole way it does it. Yeah. But also the Looney Tunes aspect, I don't know, there's just something acceptable about the way art can mutilate somebody. Like, we'll give you a pass, Art. I don't know what it is about you, but we're gonna let you stay in the theaters a few more weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be something else, that's for sure. And it's gonna be, as Jamie said, this sort of revival and resurgence of horror that's gonna start coming out. Lower budget. I think we're gonna get a lot away, hopefully with a lot more. in a rated R movie or unrated rather. I think it's gonna be something else.
I definitely think so. Peter Anthony's working with Steve Barton. Peter Anthony did like the fan movie Roseblood, but he's working on a movie called Laugh. I think that's going to be really good. We had Jonas on and Montavious Parker, and unfortunately, Jonathan isn't going to be able to make Memphis Monster Con, but he's working on that movie Mirror Mirror. There's a lot of good indie projects coming out by some of the team from Terrifier or involvement and other people that are connected through it that have, and that's the great thing about the Terrifier team and a lot of these indie things is people are connecting through them. They're working together. It's not a big competition with a lot of these guys. They actually have a lot of respect for each other. So I think the indie horror scene, the horror movies we're going to be seeing in these next few years, some of the projects I've heard about are going to be really good on that Terrifier level of, for the horror fans that are really going to like it. Kind of like the 80s again, but I actually think better quality in a sense, not like just straight ripoffs. You're always going to have those, but unique ideas, unique creators, unique filmmakers, because now it's easier. You don't have to go to schools and try to get on a set and this and that. You can film a movie and a concept with the right people and do something pretty good with affordable technology and an affordable budget.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, to your point, like you said, I mean, I do think we're going to get this sort of 80s level, boom, and it's going to be full of movies that aren't going to be taking themselves too seriously. You have movies like, under the A24 logo, and it's, we had that moment. They're great movies, but we had that elevated horror, and now I think it's just time to go back to, having a lot of fun with it.
Well, horror's always been indie when it was good. Horror was always, Halloween wasn't a big budget film. A lot of these films weren't big budget films when they came out compared to other films. So to me, horror's always been kind of an indie thing. And when it got sold out to bigger companies, and there's been some good ones. Like I really did like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. That was great. I like the Friday the 13th remake. I think
those have eyes
more embraced now than it was when it first came out. But there's just something special about a few films that did it. But there's a lot that just kind of copy and paste or just doesn't work compared to the 80s.
Really good.
Say it again, Jamie.
You get a few gems, like Sinister was really good.
Yeah.
That sort of universe of all the James Wan, I think was that universe, right? If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I definitely think we're going to see some really cool stuff. I mean, as coming from a person who loves Slumber Party Massacre 2 and thinks that's one of the best slasher movies ever made. Yeah. I hope we see some real crap out there.
In a good way. Yeah.
In a good way, of course.
I always liked the Slumber Party Massacre series. I mean, some of them were really, they were all different in their own way, but they were a lot of fun, some of them. I mean,
you're talking to a guy that loved Batman and Robin. That was my favorite Batman movie.
Oh.
Yeah, Jamie, you just keep saying it, too. He's a big fan of bat nipples, I guess. I don't know what it is.
I tell you guys have had this conversation before.
I mean, how can you respect any opinion or taste that this man has if he loves Batman and Robin?
All right, free.
What would Stan Lee say? But hey, to each their own. I mean, the cast was good. The movie for me didn't work. It just went too cheesy. But I mean, I even thought Batman Returns was kind of like, I enjoyed the first one with Jack Nicholson. The second one, I kind of saw direction. Tim Burton was fine. But then any of the other sequels, they were watchable, but not like that first 1988. Was it 89?
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, when that came out, that was great. Michael Keaton. It was dark for that time period. For to go from the '60s Batman to more of a Dark Knight Batman with a little bit of badass in him. I mean, that was different for me. It was a real growing up moment for me when Batman came out, the original one, this Tim Burton one, compared to the Adam West Batman. So very, very different tones, very different costumes too.
I mean, I can respect you for the Batman and Robin. I did go see that in theater as a kid, and
I just have to tease Jamie. I mean, to each their own. I like some movies that people would say, "How can you even like that? How can you even watch it?" And it's like I watch it all the time. I love that movie. So, everybody's got their own taste. I think all of us have like a bad movie that we love that a lot of people hate. And Jamie's proud of being a fan of Batman and Robin. It's not the first time he said it either. He's proudly says it. No apologies.
None.
you don't have to apologize. Don't worry about it.
But that like people like they look at these reviews, they look at Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, don't look at that stuff. Just go into the movie clear-headed. Just go into it. Don't worry about any review or anything like that. Don't even look at them. Just go see the movie. That's what I do.
Yeah, I mean that's why I usually don't do movie reviews, especially like I'll have a lot of indie people on my shows and stuff, indie creators, and I don't like to judge a movie because who am I to say a movie's good or bad or this or that? I might say I enjoyed it, but people got to figure it out for themselves because everybody's taste is different.
I agree.
You can find those movies that look at how many movies that have this cult following now that you wouldn't have expected. Like people hated it when it came out, but the cult following and it built up after. It was a failure in the movie theater, but it took off. Donnie Darko is one of my favorite movies of all time. Nobody had heard of it when it came out. I didn't hear of it. It was like a random thing I picked out at the video store, popped into the VHS. I'm like, man, this movie's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's tons of that stuff. I mean, shoot, what else I think Rocky Horror Picture Show even flopped back in the day.
Yeah.
And wasn't even a thing until later. People just kept re-showing it late night movies or,
The Thing was a flop in the movie theaters, and that's considered one of the greatest movies of all time, at least in my book it is. It's definitely up there with Halloween as far as a Carpenter film. Although Carpenter, I can go, Big Trouble, Little China.
My favorite.
I mean, yeah, I love that movie. I mean, there's so many movies John Carpenter did, but The Thing was so brilliant in its way. I mean, it was just watched again. Halloween was so brilliant in its way. So yeah, don't get me started on John Carpenter. I think his guarantee is only like $100,000, Jamie. Just if you're thinking about it next year.
Oh, only.
No, I know he's expensive, but he's a guy I'd definitely love to meet. I mean, like he's my all-time. Like I've met a lot of cool people, and it's awesome. But if there was one I could say I got to meet this dude, it'd be John Carpenter.
Yeah,
definitely.
I met him a few years ago. He signed my Halloween poster. He signed my They Live, The Fog, and my Thing poster.
Oh, that's awesome.
You got some iconic pieces, Jamie. You got some really, really cool pieces. And it's funny, whenever I name something, last time I named something, Jamie's got it right. Well, you mentioned this. He's got a little bit of everything around him. Don't let those two pictures behind you fool you. Yeah, but he's loaded. He's loaded around him. He's got a nice setup. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the ultimate man cave right there.
That's amazing.
Star Wars stuff.
I'm so jealous. So freaking jealous. Such a cool area. You'd think he was in a closet the way you look at him there. He's in this awesome room, man.
In the corner.
Yeah, I don't have too much on as far as signatures go. I got a D. Wallace. The Pulse rifle was signed by Lance Hendrickson, which is pretty cool.
Lance is awesome. I got a chance to meet him. He was really, really cool.
Yeah, he was a super nice guy. He was actually pretty impressed by it too, because I 3D printed that thing, and he was like, I haven't held one of these things in years. He was kind of marveling at it. It was pretty cool.
He's been in so much stuff, and he's such a good dude. Like I was lucky enough to meet him at Scarefest a couple of years ago. I caught him when he wasn't super busy, and Brian Bremer and him I don't think they had done a con before that. So Brian Bremer, who was in Pumpkinhead, was there as well, and they were sitting next to each other. I got, it was cool. I got to know Brian a little bit, and then I got to meet Lance there, and Lance was unbelievably cool and down to earth. He was actually he's one of those guys that, you'll talk to him and be like, hey, okay. He'll start a conversation with you more than even you starting one with him. And that's always a great, guest to talk to. And it's not like the man's not a busy man or doesn't have a chance, but he tries to make each fan feel special. So a big shout out to Lance, the legendary Lance.
That's something that I definitely appreciate is you definitely see a lot more so in the horror conventions, where as opposed to say like a giant convention like Dragon Con that's every year, in Atlanta, it's just not one of those sort of turn them and burn them kind of things where you're just cranking out signatures and selfies and that kind of thing. Like as far as these horror movie conventions that I've seen and all the ones that I've attended, is there's a lot of graciousness from the guests and from the people that are attending the convention. And I think that's just kind of what is so endearing about the horror community, the horror conventions, is that we're just all here to kind of gas each other up. And I think it's a great feeling. I never go there and feel like I don't belong. And I can always sit at my booth and talk to somebody about either their favorite movie or our favorite movie or just something, and I think that's fantastic.
Well, even with what I do, I told you what I do for a living. When I was first wanting to take my dudes with me, it was kind of like that stigma where, oh, well, they're going to look, it's like the horror community is one of the most embracing communities I've ever met. And really, even the horror actors and actresses, a lot of them been in other things, but for some reason, those celebrities are always the coolest ones I've met, other than the Fonz, Henry Winkler. He's the man. He's awesome to meet. Definitely. I mean, he's still horror. He was in Scream. So, but Henry Winkler is one. But there's just something embracing about the horror community when they get together. I never expect my parents to enjoy it the way they do, and they just love meeting all the different people they meet. They're in their 70s, so yeah. I mean, you can be young, you can be old, you can be middle-aged. There's just something about the horror conventions that, I don't know, it just brings a lot of people together. I think it's awesome, and it's horror. I mean, Comic-Cons are great, really good ones. I know you've done a lot of them, Jamie. And amazing people, but there's just something special about the horror community and the conventions and the actors and the vendors. And
yeah, the horror,
there's just nothing else like it.
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what it is. I've been to like conventions, not horror conventions, but say a convention, and they're great and have a great time, but you don't feel that embracing, that connection, that, the family you build that you do at a horror convention. I found like you go to a horror convention, it's horror. The people you meet around you, you can't wait to see them again the next year at the convention. It's a little more intimate.
I that's actually something that I find really, really cool is the amount of times I see a lot of the same people, and not just the guests, but the same people coming to Raleigh, North Carolina. I saw down in Columbia, North Carolina, or South Carolina. Saw them in Atlanta, Georgia. Saw them in, just you see them all the time, and I think that's great because they're, that is their thing. That's their hobby. That's their dream. They come in with the suitcase full of rolled posters and action figures and all that kind of stuff, and they will travel 5 hours, 6 hours just to go grab a signature. And I think that's fantastic. That's amazing. that's enthusiasm. That is great. And I want to talk to you because I want to know what your favorite movie is. I want to know what drives you to come down here and do something like that. And so many times to see the same person, and we will just at my booth. I have a CRT TV, and I just play VHSs all day long. And
that's awesome.
And that's all I want is you don't need to come buy anything. You don't need to try anything. All you got to do is just sit down. If you want to, pull up a chair, take one of my chairs, and let's watch a movie together. Because that's all I really want to do.
I love that vibe too, and that's a great vibe at a table, at a vendor table. I'm the same way too. I want people. I don't care. I mean, it's nice when somebody buys something. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want anybody to ever come to Doomsday's Crypt table and they got to buy something. They can ask. I love talking about guys like, Michael Toth, who's here. And speaking of talented indie filmmakers, we were just talking about you. talking some serious smack about you, Pete. No, but one of the talented people I was talking about, Peter Anthony, who's also working with Steve Barton from Terrifier franchise. So welcome to the show, my dude. I hope you're doing well. Hope the knee's doing well. I can't wait to see what's going on with Laugh and the updates on it. And also you got other few projects in the works. So we got to catch up soon. I got to get you on the show when I get back.
This Laugh sounds familiar. You keep
Laugh's got Terry Kaiser in it. Steve Barton is working with Peter on that. He's in the film. Peter Anthony, I believe, is the star. You know, I mean, his scenes, the teaser trailer was really good. If you get a chance, just check it out on Facebook. You can get a hold of Peter. You can. What is it? Peter Anthony Entertainment. I know you're changing some things around, Peter. So, but on YouTube, I think it's Peter Anthony Entertainment. So check it out. The trailer's there. He's got some of his other films. Talented guy. I think he's one of the superstars in the works. You're going to be hearing a lot about in the next few years.
That's rad. Yeah, I'm looking up right now. I think that's cool.
He worked with Jason on Vengeance 1 and 2 films. CJ was in them. Not reprising, but playing Jason's father. I can't say who else is in it because it's kind of a surprise for the part 2. But there's Steve Dash, rest in peace, was in the first one. And some really great icons from the films. And then he also had Roseblood, which brought back Lar Park Lincoln and Terry Kaiser in the roles from part 7. So yeah, check out Peter's work. Good to see you, my dude.
Awesome.
So, all right, let's get back to your hot sauce. So when you do a table, what kind of hot sauces are you bringing? You said you don't into you're more into a taste than the hot scale.
Yeah, so I'm like into flavor, like into having flavor, but also having this sort of like specificity and individuality between the sauces. So none of them really taste the same, but they definitely are food focused and have food in mind. So I basically come up with something like a need, and then kind of design the sauces around that. So like for instance, the Devil's Backbone there. This is like a medium style taco sauce. And basically this was designed because it was like a drunk night of $60 worth of Taco Bell from Uber Eats. And I was like, how can I just throw all these packets in the garbage? So I just wanted to make my own, basically. So that's where Devil's Backbone came from. Lament configuration right there. I just wanted something to sort of, as I start eating healthier, I wanted something that's going to bring lots of flavor to just a bland lunch like chicken and rice and broccoli. So lots of ginger.
They're not going to have all the calories, all the fat, and all the
exactly.
Stuff.
Yeah. So lots of ginger, lots of turmeric, coriander. It's got Scotch bonnet peppers in it. A pepper called Dragon's Breath. Then
it doesn't leave you with Dragon's Breath, so you're not talking to people. And it's like,
yeah, none of that. I'm not the type of person that likes to be, like that the whole time.
What is that smell? It's my Dragon's Breath.
We've got Bela Lugosi's Dead right there.
Oh, very cool.
That one, lots of garlic, got Carolina Reapers in it.
I'm gonna have to try that one. Carolina Reapers, garlic. I'm with
that's a big popular one, definitely.
That might be a Dragon's Breath kind of sounding thing with all the garlic and stuff, but that's all right. I'll tough out some garlic for some bad breath. It's good. It's good.
And then the last one here is called East Atlanta Phantom. So that one is my homage to Gucci Mane, who is from Atlanta, and we're known for lemon pepper wings. So I want to make a lemon pepper hot sauce, and it's pretty tight.
Now you just got to become a chicken rotisserie master or a fried chicken master, where you can mix the hot sauce with a little bit of something to put the hot sauce on.
Do I need to bring my air fryer to my booth?
Oh, your air fryer, yeah. That means healthy. You can't do the fried. It's got to be
exactly. That means I get free electricity, Jamie, if I bring my air fryer.
Anybody who's going for that green energy and trying to help the old planet, you get free power. Just use all the juice you can. Just max out that power. Bring the stuff that absorbs. You've been, cutting your electric bill for a long time, so you deserve a lot of power.
Yeah.
So is there anything in the future that you're looking forward to? Maybe like salsa or like some like spicy pickles or something like, anything different?
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for it. I've been trying to design a few recipes for like barbecue sauce. And then, some like sort of dry rubs, that kind of thing. I like doing barbecue, so I'd like to kind of dabble in that a little bit.
Well, infuse a lot of things you can go with the taste, especially trying to do that healthy thing you said, like, and meals and maybe even a cookbook for yourself.
Yeah.
The horror struck hot sauce, cookbook or something, and some recipes you might have for what you use this hot sauce for or that hot sauce for, or some meals you like. That'd be pretty cool.
I've been putting some stuff together for that. There have been a few things that I've been kind of putting down to paper and kind of finalizing. So much of the stuff, that I cook using the hot sauce and recipes and stuff like that it's for the moment, it's been so seasonal. So when I think about it, it's like, oh, Christmas is coming up. So I got, like my Chex Mix or, some sort of cocktail or something like that. So, those are all ideas that I've been trying
Bloody
to
Mary cocktail with something with that. That's always something.
I did a cocktail on my website. It was an eggnog cocktail with the Lament configuration. It turned out pretty nice.
Well, there you go. Instead of just a cookbook, you could do a mixed drink book.
I'm totally down. I mean,
man, you always got to expand.
I love a good spicy margarita.
I can do a spicy margarita. I definitely think that. I definitely think.
Look at this. We're gonna make. He's gonna become the mixed drink master here.
Yeah. I think the East Atlanta Phantom, the lemon pepper, would go good for a spicy margarita for sure. It's got a nice citrusy flavor to it.
Super cool, man. Super cool. And hot sauce is hot, right now. I mean, having a hot sauce brand, I mean, it's a pretty popular thing right now. And if it's really good hot sauce, which I'm gonna have to do like a taste test challenge. I might have to tell Joe he needs to fly in and do his JoJo's hot sauce challenges for it. Yeah, and do the taste test on it.
Yeah, it's been exciting, for sure. Starting this whole thing, probably about 5 years ago. It started, like I said, with just finding a way to use what I had, and at the time, I was banished to the garage to make it, and I couldn't make it inside the house, so I was making the garage and would just throw on horror movies, and that's kind of where the whole idea kind of spawned from, was just those two things put together. And horror struck, means shock and awe, which is something that I think horror movies bring to a lot of people. So. And same with hot sauce. So it turned out to be kind of this, synchronicity kind of thing. It was kind of awesome, really, and just fell into place. And all of this was, being in the horror community, going to conventions and being a vendor there, just to be able to put myself out there. That was from day one. I mean, that was all part of the business plan, was, what if I could do this? Like, what if I could take this hot sauce, which could be anything? I mean, as what's his name up here says, Michael says, Buckles asshole Inferno Blaster up in the comments.
That's my artist, man. I got to put up with them, but he's hilarious to do.
Right, but you could be one of those guys that can have one of those sauces, and it's just on the shelf as like a gag gift at Spencer's, or I can create something that people are going to genuinely enjoy and genuinely relate to.
Well, he's been wanting me to do a Doomsday's Crypt brand hot sauce, so maybe we got to link up and do some.
We can talk about it.
Flavor Town.
I'm down. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'd be down for that.
Well,
and maybe we'll have to do the Buckle Inferno Blaster. He's Buckles and asshole Inferno Blaster. You know, we got to give Mike some love. Yeah, you'll just get buckles in there, Mike. It's too much.
Well, and you have a lot of people that like shy away from hot sauce because they just think it's hot sauce.
Yeah.
But I mean, peppers have so much flavor in them that, you know, I used to be a cook and a little bit of a chef. So, you know, I just know how complex those flavors can be. And it's not just like straight up heat.
No,
I mean, I love Italian food and pepper and Italian food, whether it's, I guess you'd call it gravy if you're going right, but spaghetti sauce. It just adds so much. There's so much that peppers do in general, even if it's just a green pepper or jalapeno, just any brand of pepper can just do so much. And like you were saying, with Drew, it's not just about how spicy it is; it's about how flavorful it is. And I think that's really cool. You're doing that, Drew, where you're not trying to give the hot sauce taste test, you know, where you're trying to see how much heat they can take. You just want people to taste the different flavors of the different peppers you got.
I want people to enjoy it, and I want people to I want people who aren't used to hot sauce to be able to try it.
Yeah.
And I've gotten tons of people who, you know, even though it has Carolina Reapers in it, people are like, I'm not a hot sauce person. I'm willing to try it because you can kind of convince them that, hey, I'm here to, like, as a gateway for you, and I'm not trying to hurt you or scare you, kind of thing. So
I'm not trying to send you to the hospital.
No.
I'm not like trying to say $20 if you can take 2 bites of this chip.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin your day. I don't want to ruin your con.
Like you were saying, there's a lot, and all joking aside, whether we're talking drinks and mixed drinks, there's so much you can do with the hot sauce you're doing, and building off of not just the hot sauce, but a whole line of different things you can do with it. And I think that's super cool, man.
I've you know, even though this is kind of where it started, you know, there's so much planned for the future of Horror Struck hot sauce and just Horror Struck in general. You know, I want to grow the brand into being something a little bit more inclusive. You know, like, I know people aren't fans of hot sauce, you know, so I understand that. But, you know, if I can get you, you know, interested in the brand in some other way, I'd love that as well, because I don't want you to just think that I'm just here as this, but like this goes all into me, you know, wanting people to just hang out with me. So if that's something that you find value in, that's what I get out of it. You know, I can get out of, you know, whether it's monetary or emotionally out of it.
I mean, it sounds like at a convention, you just want, and this is what I love. And this is what I love about a lot of vendors and a lot of people we've had come on. It's not just about the sales, it's about the environment you're trying to bring to your area, of welcoming, you know, and if they get a chance to try the sauce, if they have to sit and watch a movie with you,
yeah,
whatever, you know, just hang out, get to the, you know, sooner or later, you're going to try all these sauces. You're going to like them, and you're going to watch some cool movies on VHS.
You know, trust me, I've had this neighbor, the same neighbor, for 2 events now, and he'll be the most self-deprecating person about the films that he makes. He's a filmmaker, and he'll always have his booth there with the movies that he made, and he'll be the first person to tell you that is a very shitty movie. No matter who walks by, hey, do you like bad movies? Because I make the worst. And I bought all of them on VHS, and every single time, like, even if it's in my hometown in Atlanta and I'm doing just a random market here in downtown Atlanta, I'll show those movies and people will ask about them.
Yeah, and sometimes things are so bad that they're good, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
No, but I want people to watch his movies. You know, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't care.
It's a cult following kind of deal, like we're saying. You know, that fan base, that core audience that you introduce to people to that.
It's just, I find something so fascinating with people who can raise the funds, who can write a script, who can buy all this equipment, learn all this different type of stuff, and just go out and do it and find these actors and film something. There's something so incredible about that. And I think that's, again, all part of the beauty of the community. And I want people to see it. I don't care if you have plastic alligators coming out of toilets eating your asshole, but he's going to put that in a damn movie and I want to watch it. And I'm proud of you, Paul.
That's cool, man. I can't wait to meet you at Memphis Monster Con. I got to get up super early. But I wasn't even thinking I could do an hour, but you've been such a fun guest, man. And I could talk to you for a while, and I enjoy guests like that. And we've had quite a few of them. It always seems like, we try to hit that hour point and cut it down. But thank you for coming on, man. I cannot wait to see you in Memphis. Jamie, can't wait to see you as well. I'll be at Scarefest. Check us out. Next up, the final one of 2024 for me, Memphis Monster Con.
Thank
Go
you,
see
guys.
Drew. Get yourself some horror-struck hot sauce. Try out these different flavors.
Come watch a movie with me.
Yeah, and I'll leave you guys with the final words.
Jamie, go for it.
Just a quick rundown. VIP tickets are almost sold out. I think we have only 5 vendor booths left. Stuff's going quick.
That's awesome, man.
Don't miss out, and keep following the page and liking it, so you might get those discounts, those flash sales that you've been running there,
It might
Jamie.
be a Halloween discount, maybe.
And you can find me. You can find my sauces at horrorstruckhotsauce.com. Follow me on Instagram. I would love it. I love a good follow. So at horrorstruckhotsauce. I'm always kind of active. So whether it be movie reviews or what have you, yeah, give me a follow. I love it. Thanks, guys.
Sounds good. Thank you again, Drew. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, chat. I'll keep you guys updated, and we will see you soon.
Let's go.